Hey guys, it's Lisa here from Arcane and Stellar with a pick a card reading for you. Sorry for my absence for these few days. I was actually dealing with a terrible tooth infection. I had a root canal and I guess it went south and I got a horrible swelling infection in my face, and I was writhing in bed for maybe like 2 days in terrible pain. And watching Hallmark mystery movies. Yeah, that's where I've been, and sorry for my absence. But I did want to continue kind of working on requests that you guys left me in the community post, and Allison had asked for a reading on what don't you see about yourself, or what don't I see about myself, or you know what I mean. That kind of, it can be phrased a few different ways. Well, this is a reading, about revealing something to you about maybe what you're not seeing about yourself, or maybe there's some kind of encouragement here. Who knows what's going to come out. But we have 4 piles. We have 1 with Bumblebee Jasper. We have 2 with Rose Quartz. And we have 3 with Amazonite. 4, sorry, I'm showing you 4 with Aqua Rose Quartz, okay? So you can go ahead and use your intuition or whatever means you feel comfortable with to pick a pile, and you'll find the timestamps down below. If you would like to have a personal reading with me, all that information is down below in the description box. There's a link to my Etsy, link to my Amazon wishlist. Anyways, let's just get started, okay? So, see you in your reading. Hey guys, so if you chose pile number 1 with this Bumblebee Jasper, this is your reading. So let's see what you don't know about yourself. Now, first of all, I wanted to talk about Bumblebee. I want to talk about Bumblebee Jasper. Bumblebee Jasper can promote positive change. It can also soothe anxiety. It can boost your energy, your creativity. It can also kind of make a balance between yin and yang energies, and also remove obstacles. So, it's a very strong, powerful gemstone for these type of things. And it's interesting because this is a little bit of a theme in your reading, and I didn't purposely choose that. I sort of just intuitively choose the stones. So it's kind of funny. So here we go. We have Spirit Guide. One thing I think that you don't see about yourself is that you're very much more, I think many of you may not realize how in tune you are with your spirit guides, or how much your spirit guides actually do communicate with you. I think many of you could be questioning yourself and your intuition, but you're actually probably a lot more in tune than you might realize. In fact, that's one of the things I think that you don't see about yourself. Many of you are maybe kind of getting into spirituality, or you're trying to become more spiritual, or you think that there's something about, especially like with your guide in particular, or your guides, that you're somehow missing, but you are actually, they're around you for sure. So for some of you, if you aren't sure you have a spirit guide, this is a message that you really do, and you probably are missing a lot of clues around you. For others of you, this is just maybe a confirmation that maybe some of the signs you've been seeing are from your spirit guide, and kind of confirming that idea. We also have wisdom. For some of you as well, I really do get the sense that it says your divine inner wisdom is always available to you. I feel like a lot of you are questioning this. I feel like you guys have a lot of inner knowing, is what I feel. That there's a lot of inner knowing and wisdom in you. And as well, look at the spirit guide. It's like a reflection of the face is a reflection. It might be also your higher self is one of your own guides. Actually, that's strange to hear, I guess, but not exactly. It could be that your higher self is trying to guide you in some way. Yeah. I feel like a lot of you have a lot more. Another thing I want to say is that some of you might not be trusting your own wisdom, especially in terms of making big choices or seeing things. We have new beginnings, and that's where that Bumblebee Jasper comes in. I feel like a lot of you are ignoring signs. And some of you, this is about something new, some kind of transformation in your life. And some of you might be asking spirit guides for signs, but then you're constantly questioning them. Like, oh my God, is that what that meant? Is that what that meant? Or did it mean that? You're not trusting it. And you're also not trusting your own inner wisdom as well, I feel like, for many of you. We also have, let's see, you're on the right path. Again, keep doing what you're doing because it's working. So there we go. Another confirmation that you're on the path, like, or the path that you're thinking of right now. You innately know inside of you that this is the right path for you, but you might be looking for outer signs rather than even your inner self, by the way, or your inner wisdom. That's another thing I'm seeing here. We have white dress and Pluto. Pluto's all about like deep knowing, transformation. It can be a bit obsessive at times, Pluto can be. So some of you might be really, sorry, oops. See, this is why I like having the tablecloth on, because my cards just scoot and slide all over the place. With Pluto, first of all, I think you guys are great investigators. You're great at applying your drive to learn, to dig, to create. For some of you, I feel like a lot of you are on a precipice of a big change or a new beginning. You know that you need to leave something behind, I feel, but you're kind of questioning. Again, I feel like for many of you, the answer is already within you. You already know this. And you may be even seeking outer guidance when you don't actually need it, per se, because you have that inner knowing. Also, I feel like being afraid of change is no good. We have the white dress as well, which can indicate like a new beginning of some kind or a new path. White dresses, often are used in christenings or weddings. There's some sort of transition is what I'm feeling for you guys. Some kind of new beginning coming for you. And I feel like a lot of you could be halting it, or maybe you're afraid. I don't know why you're not seeing this. I don't know. I'm guessing that some of you must be confusing this, or again seeking outside source when you already have the inner wisdom. We have the moon, which can talk about confusion, right, or uncertainty, but it can also be about intuition as well, right? Do you trust your intuition, or, you know what I mean? There can be some confusion there. So this could be, talking about the fact that you guys are much more intuitive than you might realize. I also see the Knight of Coins and the Ten of Wands. I love the Ten of Wands. Okay, so again, the ending, kind of like a burden. There's some kind of burden you're carrying. Some of you, this might be with work or something in terms of your lifestyle. The Knight of Coins is more about lifestyle stuff. So this could be your living situation, your family situation, something practical in your life, your health, your work, your studies. There's something here that needs a good beginning, or a good new beginning, or a new beginning. And you're not really trusting yourself fully, I feel, or there's this like guidance trying to come in to let you know that you're on the right path if you have been questioning this, and you made the right choice, okay? Especially if you let go of a burden and kind of set it down, even if it seems scary. Sometimes it's like long hair. I was just thinking of long hair, and I don't know if this is going to resonate with somebody, but I don't know why this came to my mind, but it's kind of like when you make a big transition, like hair, right? Like, I guess my cousin and I were talking about this today, so maybe this is why it popped into my head, but it was like the first time we had both very long hair as children, and the first time we cut our hair, it was a scary change, right? But it was also letting go of a burden, because I have long ass, thick ass hair. So for me, it was much lighter, and it felt good to be like free of all that weight, right? And metaphorically, applying this to yourself, maybe there is, you do want to make a practical change that is like that, a new look, for instance, right? That could totally be what this is. But it could be other things. That I feel like there's just some kind of inner wisdom you have right now to do something, or to have done something, and there is confirmation here from Spirit that you are making the right choice, or you already have that inner wisdom to make the right choice, and it's inside of you. So again, stop questioning yourself. That's the biggest message I'm seeing here. It's like very specific, very to the point, but that's really essentially what I'm seeing for this pile. And it's kind of like a current energy. It's funny because when I did this reading, I kind of thought it was going to turn out more like, oh, maybe qualities you don't see in yourself. And there are qualities in here, but this is almost like a confirmation of a knowing that you have about a total transformation in your life, whatever that may be. And again, like I said, there's a strong message here that you have already the knowledge, the wisdom inside of you. You don't need always confirmation from your spirit guides. And some of you may be getting that confirmation, but you still question it as well. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing for you guys. I wish you the very, very best. I'll stop here. I just wanted to make something short and sweet for you. If you'd like to have a personal reading, you can do that by going down in the description box below. There's a link to my Etsy store, a link to my Amazon wish list. I always get a reading. I give a reading for anybody who gets something off my Amazon wish list. So those who prefer to give, that's another option. But yeah, I wish you guys the very, very best. Lots of love. Okay, take care. Hey guys, so if you chose pile number 2 with this rose quartz, this is your reading. So let's dig in and find out what you don't see about yourself. Okay, now pile number 1's message was much more current. I'm not sure what this is going to be like, but we have prosperity. So this is already kind of telling me that you guys might not see what sort of riches you have inside of you, or what kind of abilities you already possess, or value you already possess. You might not be seeing the potential you have, in some way, because I mean, obviously with prosperity, some of you might actually not realize how much you're capable in terms of financial abundance as well. Some of you could be dealing with it could be like patterns that you grew up with that kind of hinder you. Maybe you have an idea about wealth or money that is not really in alignment with what you're capable of. There might be a bit of that here. But let me see. We also have crystals. Your connection to crystals and gemstones is a channel for healing energy. So some of you may have a really good connection to crystals. For some of you, if you've been thinking about selling crystals or gemstones, you might actually make a good business out of that. Or if you've been thinking about using crystals for healing, incorporate that. But for others of you, this could also be talking about the fact that I always think of crystals as something very beautiful and rare. I know they're not exactly rare, but there's something very unique and beautiful about them. So again, there may be something that you're not quite seeing in you that's a treasure, a hidden treasure. And we also have wildflowers. So there's this song, Wildflowers, by Ryan Adams. I used to listen to it when I was a teenager a lot. You should go look up that song for some of you. But essentially, maybe some of you will relate to that song, I'm not sure. But it just reminded me of that song. But essentially, with wildflowers, I always see something, again, rare. That's funny, I said that with crystals, because again, with wildflowers, it's kind of like something different, unique. Maybe in some way you stick out from the crowd, or there was something about your life that felt wild or unorthodox. You might have felt like your childhood growing up, for some of you, was not really what other people experienced. Maybe some of you watched TV and you thought, my family's nothing like those people, or I didn't grow up in those kind of conditions. And for some of you, that might actually be something that's holding you back still to this day. Maybe some of you have overcome that, hopefully, or maybe you still are kind of like, you think you got over it, but you're still struggling a little bit with this. Also, for some of you, it might be that you have something. I also want to say another message here. Some of you might actually have an idea that you feel isn't unique enough, and it actually, you'd still do well with it. Okay? That's another message. For those of you, specific message for some of you, if you're thinking that you can't add anything of value to something that you've been wanting to do, and you're thinking, no, already there's so many people doing that. Who the hell is calling this late at night? Hi guys, I'm back. Sorry. It's quite late at night here, and it was a phone call came in, and it was actually from my cousin. She's 15, and then her friend's like not answering the phone because she heard my voice, and she was like, And I'm like, dude, you gotta call my house and not say hello. I'm like, who is calling? It was like, it's late at night, don't do that to me. Okay, anyways, it's all solved. She was just shy, I think, and she was surprised that I answered. And I'm just like, is this Sarah? I'm like, no, this is her cousin. Anyways, teenagers. So, anyways, back to this. Again, sorry, I got interrupted here, but I remember that I was saying something about the fact that some of you might have an idea right now about something. It might be about like a business idea, or maybe it's a project idea, and maybe you're worried that it's not rare enough. I just feel like there's a special message for some of you that it is rare enough, that you are rare enough. And you know, it's just kind of like, I've wanted to do astrology, right? That was my original idea with the channel. It was to be tarot and astrology, and maybe other things as well, like rituals and stuff like that. But you know, I kind of shied away with astrology because I was like, oh, there are already a lot of astrologers out there, and what would I contribute? But again, there's, you know, everyone has a different personality, and everyone can, you know, so maybe this is my bio. Maybe this is a message for me, but we also have Uranus. So again, something different, a different perspective, a shocking perspective. Some of you, again, too, with Uranus, you know, with the association with technology too, some of you might really need this message in terms of, especially if you're wanting to do something like on YouTube or something to do with technology as well. Some of you might also have a unique idea, and you're like, would this even be popular? Or could this even work? And it could, especially if you guys also feel different in some way, or like you're not capable. I feel like you guys are capable. In fact, you might shock yourself how capable you are at doing what you're wanting to do. We have courage. So it says courage is found in the power of the heart's truth. So again, I think that you guys don't see how courageous you are as well, or how much courage you have inside of you. You're not quite seeing it, or something like that. With the heart's truth, it says courage is found in the power of the heart's truth. So about being honest with yourself too. I think that your authenticity, blunt authenticity, could also be very appealing in some way. Maybe you don't quite see it as something. Some of you, by the way, too, I want to say, might blurt things out and then you regret it later. But people actually do appreciate that truth. Okay, yeah. And it may be that you feel like sometimes you stick out in a way because of that. Because of maybe the way you say something, or there's some sort of regret afterwards, especially like if you blurt something out, like I said, or you blurt out a thought or something. Some of you, by the way, if you're deleting your stories after you post them because then you get shy, stop doing that. Okay, also, we have 8 of Swords. So I see a lot of fear, a lot of inaction because of fear. Something's holding you back. I feel like that's something you're, yeah. And then we have the Fool and the 9 of Wands. So first of all, one second, I want to grab my little guidebook. I love this deck. This is my new favorite deck ever. But I want to look and see what the 8 of Swords. I know that the Fool is the Little Mermaid. And this is Vasilisa, but I don't know what the 8 of Swords is. I want to look it up real fast. Oops, I'm going too far. Oh, it's donkey skin. Okay, France. Yeah, it's all about anxiety. Sometimes it's about also victimhood, right? So maybe in some way for some of you, you're letting yourself be a victim to circumstances, okay? And I know that's not and you're holding your own self back through anxiety, or through assuming that you aren't good enough, or that somehow you won't be chosen, or somehow you won't be recognized, or somehow you won't be this or that. Okay? And some of you are actually trapping yourself from a new beginning of prosperity as well, is what I'm getting. With the 9 of Wands, it's Vasilisa the Beautiful. How beautiful. I like this one. My daughter is named Alona, and she's in this deck as well. Alonishka. And I always thought if I had another daughter, I would name her Vasilisa. Anyways, okay. So, the 9 of Wands can be about persistence, right? Towards something. Again, this might be telling you that there are ups and downs sometimes as well, and that you need to keep persisting, that you have the ability to persist through anything. That your wounds as well, that you may feel make you enable or damaged in some way, are not actually relevant. They actually give you courage and wisdom and uniqueness to kind of go forward, okay? And let's see, what else could I say here that you're not seeing about yourself? I think, did I just say I think? I'm like, okay, because of my tooth infection, my mouth is still swollen and I'm kind of talking funny. It's a little bit sore right now. Actually, I'm going to go take an ibuprofen probably after this pile and just let it kick in a little bit. Because I haven't taken any medicine recently. But yeah, it says a Knight of Wands representing weathering the battle, sent by her wicked stepmother to the door of the witch Baba Yaga. Sorry. Baba Yaga. I read it in English and sometimes it's weird. Okay. Vasilisa the Beautiful stays resilient. She endures Baba Yaga's impossible trials. She is wary and cautious, but also hopeful. Yeah, and it's about fatigue, persistence, gathering strength, wounds, and resilience. You know what I mean? Again, the wounds you might have make you unique. They also give you a type of resilience because you can't be broken easily as well. Some of you might actually do really well emotionally with ups and downs, more than you might think. Or you can take if there is a shocking turn. For some of you, I feel like a shocking turn could actually bring you prosperity as well. Maybe some of you are afraid to break the mold in some way. But the Little Mermaid with the Fool, she was yearning for something different. And I wonder if that has something to do with it. Beginnings, possibilities, impulsiveness, innocence. Yeah, she's ready to dive out of her subconscious and into the physical world, And she's carefree and excited by a new life, regardless of warnings. So again, I don't know, there's something about you that you need to break out of, some kind of fear cycle. And you have the courage within you to do it. And you have this, I feel like you're on the precipice of something great. But you need to fight for it. And you don't need to be afraid to be different. That's really what I'm getting for those of you that chose pile number 2. So that's what you're not really seeing about yourself. And I feel like this came out a little bit differently than I was expecting. Honestly, when I was, asking the question and shuffling the cards, I was assuming that it was going to be more like pep talks or something like that. And I was like, oh, it's going to be a pep talk. And it is, but it's not the kind of pep talk I was thinking it was going to be like, oh, you're special or you're this or you're that. Well, I mean, you are special, of course, but it's not, this is more, it seems like it's much more specific towards a life decision right now or something like that. More of a, I guess, more in a general of what you're not seeing about yourself or your life at this moment. I feel like some of you really need to have the courage to make a shocking change, a total, leap of faith. And also not be afraid if you do face some sort of trials. And take it as an offense to yourself, or take it as, oh, I need to hide away again because, shoot, people don't like me, or it's not going so well so fast, or something like that. So that's what I'm seeing for those of you that picked pile number 2. That's your message. I really hope that it helped you. But yeah, let me know if it gave you any insight in the comments below, if it resonated with you. I wish you all the very, very best and lots of love. And I also, if you want to, have a personal reading with me, you can do that by going down in the description box below. There's a link to my Etsy. There's a link to my Amazon wishlist. Either way, you can get a reading. As many of you know, with the Amazon wishlist thing, it is always, somebody who gets something off my Amazon wishlist always gets a reading as a thank you. That's just for, kind of like an energy exchange type of thing, as they say. You give me something, I give you something, and some people really like the gift giving part. They like getting me some surprise. So, and I like surprising them, not surprising them, but giving something back as well. So that's just another option for those of you that would wish to do that. But anyways, take care of yourself, and I will see y'all next time, okay? Bye-bye. Hey guys, so if you chose pile number 3 with Amazonite, this is your reading. Amazonite is really about balance in general, kindness, practicality. It can soothe emotional trauma and alleviate fear and worry. So for some of you, maybe you do deal with some anxiety. Maybe this stone would help you. So let's get started in your reading and see what you're not seeing about yourself. It's interesting because these piles went a lot differently than I expected in terms of the messages coming through. I thought it was going to be much more of a pep talk or something, like in terms of just physical qualities or attributes or, that type of stuff. And there is a bit of this, but it's also a little bit more. Some more specific messages have been coming in too. So we have the Strength card coming out. This isn't the Tarot Strength card, but it's very similar in meaning. This does tell me that you guys may not know or realize how strong you are. I also get the message here that you don't realize how much your word is respected. Maybe for some of you, you don't feel like, and this is totally coming to me out of nowhere, so it's probably a message for a certain amount of people here. But some of you may not realize how much people actually look to you for strength, for encouragement, for your wisdom. I don't think you realize how many people actually do rely on you. Some of you might think that people don't take you seriously or that you somehow don't measure up, but you do have a lot of strength as well. I feel like you are quite inspiring to some people. We also have Speaker. Your life purpose involves your skills of oration. Some of you are actually perhaps a little bit afraid. That's funny I said that because I forgot what cards were here. That's hilarious. Okay, so yeah, that's funny. You guys are actually really good at public speaking, and again, I feel like you might not realize how many people value your words or would value your words if you were to speak them. So some of you that have been thinking about, doing podcasts or writing or something, or YouTube or anything in which you kind of talk to people or lead people, right? And that could go in other ways. It could be like, counseling or any kind of way in which you're speaking with people. You might not realize how much people could respect your words and resonate with them, but also, feel connected to you for real. Okay, we also have the cats. Interesting, the cats. I can't find my guidebook for this particular one, so I'm kind of intuitively going for it. Some of you might be... Well, let me get the rest of the cards here. We have Saturn as well. I found that interesting. Some of you might have Saturn in the 3rd house, I wonder. Especially because I'm seeing this speaking. It doesn't have to be, though. This could just be the energy of that. Or maybe it's like Saturn, Mercury, or something like that. Again, I feel like there's a lot of wisdom in what you say. Saturn usually represents areas, wherever it lies in our chart, represents an area in our life where we might have a bigger struggle. We might have more lessons to learn or more of a difficult time. Saturn in the 3rd, for instance, can represent somebody who has a hard time speaking up for themselves, somebody who feels like their word is restricted, or sometimes it can literally show up as like a speech, speech delays and stuff like that. But usually it's more about somebody who later in life, because Saturn's always like that energy of well, especially if you're bad aspects kind of impacting it as well. Later in life stuff, usually after your first Saturn return, things start to ease up in that place, for sure. But like for me, I have Saturn in the 4th, not a homeowner. Probably won't be for many, many years, even though I'm in my 30s. I haven't been able to settle down, but I also have Pluto in the 4th, so very much transformative in my personal life, and home life. But with Saturn in the 3rd, and I know actually one YouTuber who has this, a tarot reader, Gossamer Dreams. I'm going to mention her here because she's a shining example of Saturn in the 3rd. She, I've read her chart. We've talked about astrology and stuff like that, and she had Saturn in the third. I'm just skipping. Like, I think my mouth being swollen just makes me want to, it's kind of uncomfortable, and so it makes me want to skip skip things, mess up my words. But she had, you know, kind of a timid experience, or felt restricted sometimes in what she would say. But as she got older, and, you know, age starts to kick in and stuff, it became much more powerful, her speaking voice. And if you hear her speak, man, she's amazing. Go listen to her YouTube. She's one of my favorites. But she's strong, she's certain, she has wisdom, she has also a very authoritative way of speaking, but very encouraging, right? But she mentioned before, you know, and that's very, you know, common with Saturn in the third, is that, you know, speaking wasn't always easy for her. And she often felt unheard, or that her voice didn't matter, or didn't really speak up what she really wanted, that type of stuff. And that can be very much the case. Some of you, again, might be in some way, you know, I see the cat and I think of cats are kind of like sneaky. Not sneaky, but cats are kind of, some of them are loud, but some of them can be quite quiet. And I don't know, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. There's also, I don't know, I think of cats as like kind of attractors in some way. Some of you might feel, because there's a black cat here, and black cat has like so many different type of superstitions around it. So some of you might have certain ideas or bad luck on yourself in terms of speaking. You might, maybe you feel like people will judge you, or that society in general won't hear you, or that it won't be noticed, or that there's some sort of barrier here, perhaps. Sorry, I have to read it intuitively because I don't have the guidebook. I don't know where it's at. It's lost in my pile of cards everywhere. I have like probably about 80 decks just laying around me, unboxed. So, not joking, it's terrible. But yeah, so we also have the Four of Coins. So this one really tells me that there is some sort of value that you're sitting on. You might even be being a bit greedy with yourself. You might be holding yourself back a little bit. Look at the hummingbird. Oh, that's beautiful. We also have the Six of Coins. Value to be shared. Wisdom to be shared. Experience to be shared. And then we have the Magician. We also have transformation. Funny that the Magician in this deck is the fairy godmother. And what does the fairy godmother in Cinderella do? She transforms the ordinary into something extraordinary. I feel like a lot of you don't realize the power you have to turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. And actually how much you could give in terms of assistance. I feel like a lot of you are holding yourself back here with the Four of Coins and the Six of Coins. I don't feel like it's greedy in terms of share, you know, because sometimes the Four of Coins can be about being greedy with yourself or your money or your resources. I feel, in fact, it's not about that so much. It's about perhaps self-preservation, or kind of holding yourself back when you actually have so much to give. And there are so many people waiting, you know, to hear from you, or would love to hear your voice, or especially if you guys have been trying and you felt like it isn't getting anywhere. Maybe that's one of the things that you need to know about yourself, that you actually have a lot more power over this than you realize. Maybe in terms of changing the way that you're thinking about things. I just wanted to look at the guidebook here because it has like all the fairy tales. This one is a Condor's Wife from Peru. It says the Four of Coins represents greed and an unwillingness to open up or share. See? Condor covets his wife who does not like his lifestyle or living with him. He recognizes her unhappiness but is unwilling to make changes or set her free. And like that's the thing though. It's like I feel like in some way you're not setting yourself free because you feel this sort of burden or restriction in some way, or you keep it on you. With the Six of Coins, let's look at what fairy tale that is. It says a woman who was kind to insects, Alaska Inuit fable. The Six of Coins represents kindness and generosity to those less fortunate. The old woman from this Inuit tale understands the need to put positivity into the world in order to receive it back. The pay it forward methodology of karma. So again, maybe for some of you, you're actually doing a disservice in some way by not sharing things with people, or sharing yourself with people and not opening up more. And like I said, the Magician, I remember, because I got this card earlier, I'm still learning this deck a little bit, but I really find the fairy tale aspect of it fascinating. And the card stock is amazing, by the way. If you're looking for a tarot deck, 100% recommend this one. And the guidebook's really cute. But yeah, anyway, sorry. Back to your message, though. Yeah, and here, look, it says, the process of self-transformation will open your eyes to the timeless truth of yourself. Again, I feel like some of you might not have a very accurate view of yourself in some way. You're not quite, perhaps, it could be very self-criticizing, or you get down on yourself. And you actually hold yourself back. Strength can sometimes be too much of it. Too much strength. Strength can be good in some aspects, right? But anything can be bad if you use it the wrong way, right? And with strength, if you're holding yourself back too much and not really letting yourself move forward, that can be a bad thing. So again, I feel like what I'm seeing here as to what you guys don't know about yourself and what you're not seeing about yourself is that you have a lot to offer the world, especially in terms of your speaking skills and what you have on your mind and what you can share. And I feel like a lot of you are hoarding that, or not, and it's not hoarding it as in like, it's more based off of fear or something, but you're not realizing the value that you have to add to the world and how much it could actually help other people. Some of you might also be believing too much in restrictions you've placed on yourself, and you don't really realize the power of transformation. You might be looking at some of your circumstances and thinking, my life is bare, or I don't have much, or I can't do this. But you can. Cats have 9 lives. So maybe for some of you, it's about you can transform. You don't have only one chance or multiple chances. That might be a message for some of you. But that's the reading I've got for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and stop here. And I hope that it gives you some insight. If you chose pile number 3 and you thought it helped, let me know in the comments below. But I'm wishing you guys the very, very best. As I said, lots of love. And if you want a personal reading with me, all that information is down below in the description box. There's a link to my Etsy store. There's also a link to my Amazon wishlist, where you can, also get a reading. I usually offer, well, not usually, I always offer a reading as a thank you for anything purchased off my Amazon wishlist. So, either wishlist. So that's just another option for those of you that would prefer gift giving. But I'm going to thank you so much for being here. Would love it if you stuck around and subscribed if you're new. But if not, I'm wishing you lots of blessings, okay? So, see you next time. Okay, guys, so if you chose pile number 4, lowest pile, this is Aura Rose Quartz. And, this stone really talks about unconditional love and self-love, self-compassion, self-assurance, releasing fear and insecurities, and healing emotional trauma. So this might be, I think it's probably going to be relevant to the reading, but some of the other stones have been very relevant to the energy. But that's a really good stone for those type of things, okay? So if you're interested. We have beauty. So what are you not seeing about yourself? Or what do you not realize about yourself? What do you not know about yourself? Beauty. A lot of you, all of you, in fact, have a lot of beauty. And some of you might not see it. You might look in the mirror and not see what you like, or you might find flaws. And, there's a message here for you that you are very beautiful, that you have a lot of beauty inside and out. We also have artist. Engaging in artistic activities is beneficial to your career and every other area of your life. Some of you might actually want to be in the beauty industry. Actually, I'm getting for some of you. And you are very capable of that to be successful if you keep going. We also have house. The sun. Sol. 10 of Swords, okay. 6 of Swords. And the Star. And Serenity. Embrace Serenity's refreshingly peaceful energy vibration. I love that. Serenity is very much like the Star. There's something very healing about your presence, guys. I feel. One second. I want to look really fast and see. I can't even. This is Alonishka. That's actually. Yeah, that's from. Where is it at? This deck is amazing. Yeah, it's from the Alonishka Nivanishka, like a fairy tale. It's like a Russian fairy tale. Isn't that so pretty? It's not gonna. There we go. So, well, as many of you know, the star is a symbol of hope, you know. After disaster, I feel like a lot of you may, if you have been through a rough time recently, you are going to make it through. I think there's a message about that. For others of you, I feel like you're quite the survivor as well. Some of you might have had a lot of home strife in the home, heartache in the home. And yeah, I feel like you guys are moving out of that. Maybe some of you, by the way, hold on, I'm just, I definitely see a lot of peace in you. But I'm like, how do you not see that about yourself? Don't you know that about yourself? So I'm trying to understand what the message is here. Because I feel like that should be something you feel. Maybe there's a message here for some of you that if you've been going through a rough time, there is peace ahead. There is hope ahead. There are new beginnings ahead. You'll find it. Especially if you've been going through a lot of private turmoil that you keep to yourself. Especially if there have been changes in the home or in family dynamics, or when I see the house, I think of our core or our private life. Maybe these could even be things that are behind closed doors. Some of you might not see how healing you are to people for those going through tragedy. Some of you might be able to share your own tragedies with others as well in order to help them find peace as well. Like maybe like a mentor of some kind or something like that. Maybe based off of your own experiences through your life, your childhood, your home, your family dynamics growing up. Some of you as well, like I said, may have come from, very difficult circumstances growing up. And see, and I was going to say some of you are quite hopeful despite it. Like you always maybe, there's this, their eyes were watching God. It's one of my favorite books, and there's this quote in it. Gosh damn it, it's like some men look at puddles, and they see ships on the horizon. Like, what is it? Hold on, I have the quote on my phone, I think. I'm just trying to think about it, because that book has been in my head lately a lot. I did a book, like a paper on it in university, but it's always been one of my favorites. And some of you, I feel, would identify with this quote in some way. Let me just find it. Some people could look at a mud puddle and see an ocean with ships. There we go. That's, sorry, I totally butchered that. I should know better. Yeah, so for some of you, the situations or the circumstances were so dire in your life at certain times, and yet you still saw big things on the horizon, or you still saw something beautiful or big out of it, like dreamers or something. I feel like a lot of you could inspire people with your story. We have artists. So again, this does tell me here that you have a lot to offer the world through art. And art can come in so many different ways, right? Art can be, painting. It can be, writing. Art, I think writing's an art to me. Poetry's an art to me. I mean, artistry comes in so many different fashions. Some of you might do makeup or something artistry. Again, there's something about transforming people, giving them hope, and shining a light, or being like a beacon of light is what I'm getting. Some of you really have this healing ability to bring people peace and transformation in their own personal life. Again, for many of you, this will be through art, in some form or fashion. You know, like, actually, it's funny. I've been getting this recommendation. I get two people. I get that weird conservative chick on my recommendations. Does anyone else get her? Like, she's like this conservative woman who's like makes like ad video. I don't know what the heck. She keeps showing up on my feed, but also I get a lot of makeover videos. This guy does these makeovers on older women and like makes them, and they're like, oh, a woman is crying because she's so happy with her new hair or something. You know, but still there's something transforming, something beautiful. And it's like there's something about your ability that you're not seeing that you could transform or give some sort of hope or peace. It could just be your story. It could be writing your story or sharing it. It could be sharing it through art. It could be... There's something there about that. Some of you might have art within you that you don't realize as well. Like an artistic ability that you haven't yet unlocked. For those of you who are like, I don't have any artistic ability. You do. Maybe you just haven't quite unlocked it. Maybe there are some blockages here. Maybe you have a certain mindset about yourself, that you can't finish something, that you're not good at it, or blah, 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 blah. The stories we tell ourselves, the bullshit we tell ourselves. There might be something there for some of you. That might be a specific message, but you do have it. Or you have something that you could share. I want to say for some of you, there's a few of you who've been maybe wanting to share, or one or two of you even, maybe wanting to share some sort of like strong story about a transition in your life, or an uprooting in your life that led to, like a story of hope, for instance, like somebody who's been through a lot, like maybe uprooting, living abroad. Some of you might be wanting to make like a travel channel or something, or maybe you want to make something where you share your going abroad story or something, or like changing, like if you've thought about, if anyone's been thinking about that, like kind of sharing a transitionary period of their life with people, I feel like it would go well. And if you've been worried about how you look or something like that, that's a message, specific message for some of you to stop worrying about that. Yeah. But I think what you guys essentially, like I said, just to kind of repeat, besides the specific messages, the overall message that I'm getting here is what you guys aren't seeing about yourself is that you know, can offer a lot of hope to people through the situations you've been in by sharing them. You also, like, it could create like a peace within people by sharing your art in some form or fashion. Like I said, art doesn't have to just be painting something. It can be so many different formats. And I feel in some way you can offer a safe place for some people that need it. Also, one more message. If some of you were thinking about adopting in the future, I feel like this is a confirmation to do that. Okay, so that's your reading. Hopefully that was clear. It's funny, this reading didn't really turn out the way that I thought it would. Oh, it was more like specific kind of messages rather than, I don't know, I just thought it was going to be like, I said this in the other piles, so some of you might be hearing a repeat of this, but I just thought it was going to be like a pep talk, like, you're pretty, you're nice, you're kind, you know, like something like that, but this seemed much more specific. So hopefully it resonates, or you guys found the message that you needed to find or hear. But I do wish you guys the very, very best. I'm sending you guys lots of love. Thank you for being here. If you chose this pile, let me know in the comments below, especially like if it resonated with you. I'd love to hear about that. But I do wish you guys the best. If you want a personal reading with me, you can always do that by going down in the description box below. There's a link to my Etsy where you can purchase a reading in as well. There's a link to my Amazon wish list. And as many of you who've been on the channel before know, I always do a reading as a thank you for anyone who gets something off my Amazon wish list. And that's just a tradition I kind of have had for a long time. So I guess almost a year now, actually. And every person that I could get a hold of anyways. Make sure if you do it, leave me your email so I can get a hold of you, or your Instagram. So that's the only time I've ever not done it, is when I couldn't get a hold of somebody or they never replied back. But that's just always something. Some people like to do the gift giving thing, and I've kept it up because I know a lot of people really like doing that. And of course, I like getting surprises, so just an option. But there's also my Etsy, where you can just purchase a standard, you know, type of reading, 6 months and 1 question, 2 questions, 3 questions, etc., etc. But wishing you guys the very, very best, and I'll see you all next time, okay? Bye-bye.